Okay, so today is a very special day, and no, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl or the Season 2 premiere of The Voice, although I am very excited for that. The Voice, not the Super Bowl. I really don't give a damn about football. But no, there's something even bigger that outshines both of those events. Today is Darren Criss's 25th birthday. Woo! And I'm really excited about that, as you can probably tell. I was talking to my friend Courtney last night, who I met online through the Glee fandom, and she asked me, she's like, I'm thinking of making a video for Darren's birthday tomorrow, and I was wondering if I can include your story. And I was like, yeah, of course, that would be awesome. And I got to thinking, I was like, well, why didn't you just make your own video and tell your own story? So that's what I'm doing here. Um, you know, people used to look at me and think that I was just an average Darren Criss crazy fangirl with all my Darren Criss stuff, like my Darren Criss calendar, all my Darren Criss keychains, my Darren Criss t-shirts. But now they look at me a bit differently ever since seeing my last video, because although I could probably beat out anyone in a who is more obsessed with Darren Criss contest, it's a lot more than that for me. I owe Darren Criss something very, very precious and special. I owe him my life. I know I've told this story before, but I'm just kind of gonna retell it. I was diagnosed with clinical depression December of 2010. December of 2012 hasn't happened yet. December of 2010. But I had been suffering for a year before that, so I was at the end of my rope, or so I thought. I didn't think it could get any worse, but it could. I started on a medication. It worked for about 6 months. Then it stopped, so I went back. He upped my dose. It kind of worked, but not really. And then that was during the summer, and once school started, it got bad. So they started me on a whole other different med, and that didn't work. Like, it was literally like I was just taking nothing. And it was terrible. So it was in November, the beginning of November, when my parents finally decided that they needed to take me to a psychiatrist because nothing was working and it was getting really bad. So they made an appointment with a nurse practitioner, but it wasn't for a month. So I had to survive a month not on any medication, without counseling, and it's safe to say that it was the worst month of my life. Because I had already been cutting myself before that. I had started months earlier, and I had to stop, so I had nothing to comfort myself. And it got to the point where I was suicidal. And I kind of like to sugarcoat it when I tell about that, when I tell people about me being suicidal, because it was a lot worse than I like to let on, because I don't like to scare people, but it was bad. And, just looking back on it, in the moment it didn't feel that bad. It was like, well, this is normal, every depressed person gets suicidal. And I mean, that's how everyone else was treating it, so that's how I felt about it. I would tell people, she'd be like, well, it's normal, you're depressed, of course you're going to be suicidal. So I thought, well, this isn't really that big of a deal, but now that I look back on it, it was bad. It was a big deal. And there's a story that I've only told a select few people, because I hate making people worry about me, and I hate scaring them, because I've taken away so much time from people just to have them worry about me and wonder if I'm okay, and it's not good. But there was a night when I don't even remember when it was. I just remember the night very clearly in my head. Everyone was asleep, and of course I wasn't, because I have insomnia from the depression, so I didn't sleep very much. And I was standing in my kitchen where our medicine cabinet is, where we keep all our medication. And I had a 90 days supply bottle of antidepressants in my hand. And I was just staring at it, and I literally stood there staring at it for like 5 minutes. And I just thought to myself, I could down each and every one of these and just be gone and be done with it. But obviously I didn't, because I'm here today, and I owe some of that to Mr. Darren Criss. Darren comes into this, maybe it doesn't feel like he really fits in with a story like this, but trust me, he does. I got obsessed with Glee. I'd have to say it was actually November of 2010, a month before I was actually officially diagnosed. And I fell in love with it, I was obsessed with it, and I watched, I remember before this, and I love thinking about this, on one of the episodes of Glee, the first episode that Darren was in, they sang Teenage Dream, and I remember seeing it all over YouTube, over Facebook, because it was a big thing, and I watched that video, and I listened to him sing before I had even watched the show, knew what it was about, knew what he was about, and I fell in love. I kid you not, I watched that video over and over and over again, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is amazing, I'm in love with him. And so I started watching the show, and I fell even more in love with him, and I started, researching or stalking him, finding out more about his life, and I just absolutely fell in love with him. I was like, this guy is amazing, his voice, I just love it, and I stumbled across his song, Not Alone, and it's the most beautiful song in the world. It's my favorite song, and the lyrics are just so meaningful and beautiful, and he has gotten me through a lot of my depression, because I would listen to a song, Not Alone, and it would comfort me. I would just be able to get through the day because of that song. I would play it before school when I was on my way driving to school, and I just sit there and listen to it, and once it was over, I was like, okay, I can get out of the car and I can survive one more day. I would listen to it when I was in my bed late at night, not able to sleep, just sobbing, and it got me through. And I would just think of him every time I would go to cut myself when I know I shouldn't have been. I would think, Darren would not want you to do this, so why are you going to do it? You're crazy. So I didn't do it. And I didn't kill myself partly because of him. I thought, why would you throw away more time you can spend loving him? Don't do it. So I didn't. And I'm happy now, and I can say that without it feeling like a lie, because really I am. I've been put on 2 different meds that seem to really be working, and I just feel better. I'm doing really well. I'm doing good in all my classes, but I'm human, and I just went through 2 years of hell, so I have my moments. And it was just Friday night, 2 days ago, where the day just sucked. I was tired. I was really, really stressed out. And obviously, demons from my past come to haunt me sometimes. It's inevitable. I'm going to get upset sometimes. And I was laying in my bed, and I was crying for the first time in a while. And I just had Not Alone on repeat, and I was just listening to it over and over and over again, and just thinking to myself, listen to those words, listen to that man, you are going to be okay. And it helped. It helps every time, I swear. I just need to make a video to tell that story and thank Darren once again. I've made 2 videos before. I just need to thank him again because it's his birthday, and you're supposed to be nice to people on your birthday. On their birthday, not your birthday. Although you should be nice to people every day, including your birthday. Be extra nice on their birthday. So Darren, I would just like to say happy birthday. You're amazing. I love you. Thank you. And my birthday is exactly 1 month from now, March 5th. I'm going to be 18 years old. And you know what that means. I can vote. Let's go vote together. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, and I hope it is amazing and wonderful and beautiful. Thank you for saving my life, and I absolutely adore you. I love you. Mwah.